Are you someone who has thought that as a Java developer, am I still going to stay relevant in the AI era? Well, AI has been a part of our conversations in 2025, and let me tell you that AI can also be a part of your everyday Java development. Welcome to my channel, Code with Ease by Varsha, and today we will try to understand that as Java developers, how can we still stay relevant in the day and age of AI without unlearning Java and without relearning Python and AIML, so to say. So, with that, let's get our discussion started. So, we know that over the past 2 years, there has been a massive shift around how we have been developing software. So, right from new tools and frameworks, new words of the year, buzzwords have come in, and that has made this space exciting, beautiful, and very overwhelming at the same time. And this fear mongering around Java and its relevance have mainly come up because the entire ecosystem that we talk about it has been built in and around Python since decades. So that is where that is the root cause behind all these misconceptions and myths that have come in. But thanks to the latest developments in the Java world, that has paved way for us to have a clearer roadmap and a clearer picture of what is the potential of Java developers, what is the future of Java developers look like. So it is very important for us to take a pause and just slow down and take a look around what is happening. You as a Java developer you are anyway uniquely well positioned in the enterprise market because we have production grade applications with core business logic up and running already. So what is your work now is to integrate intelligent features into those production grade applications without knowing AIML. So please get it straight in your head. I'll just repeat that you as a Java developer, you have the unique advantage and you have your natural expertise, the mature expertise, you already have it in this ecosystem. So you have to focus on delivering intelligence, adding intelligent features on top of the existing application. We will talk about some stack and diagrams and everything. It is coming up. Stay tuned for that. So this is the very core concept because conceptually, what has been happening? So we have been building REST APIs, exposing REST APIs, calling REST APIs, and now that has shifted to the talk around building an MCP server, building a MCP client. So this is the synonymous thing. Like earlier, we were working with REST API and doing the plug and play, and now it is MCP. Similarly, we have been working with SQL databases, no SQL databases, writing the integration between databases, all of that business logic that we have been writing for so many decades now. And now we have to work with vector databases. So, I mean, if you understand this, if you have this conceptual understanding very strong, it is going to be very easy for you to have a clear vision of the path ahead. So all in all, Java developers today are learning how can they add intelligence on top of the existing applications. And that is what you have to focus on, the app logic, the integration, and how can you deliver business value to the existing production grade applications, right? So that is what you have to focus upon. And that is the sole focus, that should be your sole focus as a Java developer today. So if you look at the screen, there's a very interesting anecdote that is given by Daniel from Red Hat. And same thing, so whatever we discussed, Java developers have this natural advantage already, and the unique skills that we anyway have, and that can help us to bridge the gap between the traditional enterprise development that has been happening for over the years and this fast evolving world of AI. So whatever skills that we already have, we can use that. Now is the time because we have so many mature frameworks now which have we have the toolkit now with us, so that is why he has said that Java developers are at a pivotal moment. And our skills are not going to be useless. It is going to be even more useful now. It's going to be even more relevant now. So if you see, he has talked about how do I, with my years of Java expertise, even begin to work with these large language models. So there is this question, and I think this is the very foundation behind the myths, because I think this is the very foundation behind the misconception that we have that I don't know how to work with models. So I, as a Java developers, what am I going to do? So which brings me to this contrast between what we are thinking and like the fact and the truth. So on the right hand side, if you see, this is what we have been focusing on. If at all we have to be a part of this race, this ecosystem, and we have to do this right hand side thing. But this is not what you have to do. I am not an ML expert. I'm not a data scientist. We have ML practitioners. We have experts already in the field whose work is to build the model, whose work is to fine tune the model. And it is important for us, Java backend developers, to understand how these things come into play. Like we have to understand what does a model parameter mean. We have to understand how does fine tuning work. It's more about the understanding, like we study high level system design. We understand how underlying systems are being built. So the understanding is something else, but nobody is expecting from you as a Java developer to take upon the role of a data scientist. Nobody is asking you to build a model from scratch. Nobody is telling you to fine tune the model. This is the separation of concern which I wanted to show. So the right hand side is something which requires a deep ML expertise, which you as a Java developer do not need to have. You focus on the left hand side, the app logic, the integration, delivering the business value. So this is what you have to focus on. The application development. You don't have to worry about the creation of model. Just focus. Java developers are again uniquely well positioned. We are trained and tested on doing app integration already. So that is what you have to focus on. And so with that, now your question might be, then what is my role as a Java developer? So this is what you have to do. Like we discussed, you have to connect to the existing foundation models, plug and play, REST APIs, MCP protocol, that like the model context protocol that we're using. So you have to do the connections. You have to call the AI services just as you were calling REST APIs. We have AI libraries. So like I said, the toolkit is now ready for us. So we just have to write the correct business logic to do the integration, to do the orchestration, to do the integration, to do the orchestration, and create the intelligent workflows. Instead of working with SQL and NoSQL, now we have to work with a new type of databases, vector databases. And ultimately, now we will be able to integrate, embed AI capabilities into the production grade enterprise applications. I am stressing upon the word production grade again and again because when we talk of production grade, observability is also a concern, security is also a concern, scalability is also a concern, reliability is also a concern. All of those things are anyway going to come into play even more on an even bigger scale now. So you worry about those things and not about what model should I use? I mean, and not about like, okay, do I have to build this model and things like that. Like you have things at your disposal already. You have your external libraries, your third party APIs already. Just call that. And then you worry about, okay, if I'm calling that model, now how will I be able to handle three different usage or calling of models for different business use cases? You worry about that. What model to use, which model to use when should I use this one over that one? When can I use multiple models? So you have to think on those lines as a Java developers and not about building a model from scratch. So I hope till this point in the video, it is very clear for you before we talk about the AI integration pattern that what is your role as a Java developer today. So now that we have talked about what do Java developers need to do, now we'll take a look at a typical AI architecture app. What do we have to do when we are now going to design and build applications? So on the right hand side, so again, the separation of concern. So you're seeing this model training and development, which is best left to the experts, like we just discussed, who are going to basically invest into building models, fine-tuning models, training models. So we don't have to worry about that. So that is one aspect of it, which Java developers have no role to play in. On the left-hand side, Java developers have to focus on what we have been focusing over the years, the REST API, business logic, writing the business logic, then database integration, right? Integrating with the third-party external libraries. And now there's two terms which has come. So far we have been doing software as a service, and now we have database as a service. We have model as a service. I'm going to talk about model as a service in a bit in some detail. So typically, this is the architecture that we are going to work in. And on this, as you can see, our work is now very much concentrated towards this particular service layer. Which, on that note, I also want to show you this particular image. So on that note, take a look at this particular image. I think this gives you an even better picture. So we have in Spring Boot architecture, the controller, the service, and then the database, the repository. So in the service layer is something which is anyway driving the business value. It has been doing that. So at this particular point is where we are now conjoining the AI integration layer using the frameworks where we can use LangChain, or maybe you can use Spring AI. Now, what framework to use, what is the preference, what is going on, we'll again talk about that. But very simply, if you look at this middle layer, the AI integration is being done where we have the model as a service, the model providers that we have, and then we have the database options also. And then using both of them, we are just going to focus on building a better service layer, writing service classes. That is it. So this is what you have to actually focus on. This is where Java fits. You're not building models, you're not training models, you're building what actually matters. There's another image which I want to talk about now is the AI integration patterns. So we just now talked about model as a service. So we had software as a service earlier, and now we have model as a service. So as you can see, there are two types. If I just scroll down, yeah. So there are two things. Earlier, what happened was the in-process model integration, where the runtime and the logic used to be in the same environment. Many of you might have heard of frameworks like PyTorch and TensorFlow. So over there, embedding the model in the code used to happen, and then in the same environment only the logic was also being written. So now that, as you can understand, it becomes very tightly coupled. So this thing that you're seeing, this box over here, foundation models and GPU and model weights, everything is now treated as a black box, but earlier it was not. So that is why now it has been abstracted as a black box and now given to us. Now we are just invoking that particular foundation model and writing the code. This is what we are doing currently. But earlier we had to worry about all of these things. That is why it was called in-process integration. And now it has become HTTP. Just as we do HTTP call, now we are just going to integrate that. So this is a very clear distinction between why tight coupling is not going to scale anyway for production grade applications. So that is why the separation of concern has been done. And now if you keep model as a service separately for a minute, this part of the diagram is something very, very simple. This is our existing architecture anyway. We just have to add another HTTP call to integrate the models. Just a service call, external library, third party call. That is it. So this is the pattern. This is the only AI integration pattern which you have to learn on a very basic level. This is what you need to know. Everything else is just noise. This is the only thing which you have to understand, that what is my architecture, what is the integration pattern, where do I need to use. The how and everything is going to come later. That is a lower level implementation. This is the higher level picture which you have to understand. So what defines the future of AI Java developers, Java AI developers? Okay, AI application developers. The future of AI in software development will now be defined by who can integrate AI well into both existing and new applications. So you take any sector like logistics, healthcare, manufacturing, every single place, Java is strong. Java powers the business logic. Java powers the workflow. So Java is already has been strong across all of these core business sectors. And this is the time for Java developers to shine, because now that you have your core business applications, all you need to do is to make them more intelligent. We'll touch upon some real world scenarios as well, where practical enterprise ready applications are now coming into play. What are the different scenarios in which intelligent features need to be added? So I'll talk about two scenarios in two different sectors. So all in all, it's your time as a Java developer to shine bright like a diamond, because you already have all your superpowers, your strength, and your tools, your armor, and everything. And all you have to do is go all in, leveraging the right tools and the framework that you have, and use your native intelligence, all your experience that you have been carrying from over the years. And anybody who is going to start in this space as a Java developer, the Spring Boot developer, are now very much well equipped. Like, it is very much simple analogy, like when we had Spring MVC versus when we have Spring Boot. We have so many better features in Spring Boot, so we are able to build faster, right, applications. So something like that, It's about evolution. It's about getting better tools and techniques with time and evolving with time. So this is so now are you ready to become an AI application developer? So this wonderful anecdote from Josh, who is a senior developer advocate from Spring. He is saying that you can become an AI application developer in just 2 minutes by doing these steps. What are those steps? Just have to grab the API key of your favorite model that you want to test. Visit start.spring.io. Your boilerplate code is something from where you can add the dependency, configure the API key, and that's it, you're done. It will hardly take you 5 to 10 minutes to build your first Spring AI integrated application. Build a simple Hello World application maybe after this, right? And let me know in the comments below if you want me to bring projects around Spring AI integration, how we are going to do that. So this is the thing, right? If you want to become an AI ready AI application developer or AI Java developer, AI engineer, whatever you may call, this is what you have to do to get started. So we have been talking about the toolkit. What is our toolkit? So two things. One is, what do Java developers actually need to build those applications, are those elements. Again, if these are the buzzwords or jargons, if you have never heard about RAG or vector databases, do not worry. Recently, I've put up another video where I have tried to decode the buzzwords. I have written a blog also. There's a video. The video mainly talks about how these terminology, which may seem foreign to you if you are hearing for the first time or don't know the basics, then you can watch that video to understand how these things interconnect with each other. So I would highly recommend you to also watch that video so that you know what is RAG, what is vector databases in basic, and then so that you can understand when we talk of building intelligent apps which our developers are building, how they are going to take that into account. So these are the basic things that we need. On the other hand, if you see the fundamentals, Java developers' strength, our real strength, so security and access control. I talked about production grade application. So we are, protecting sensitive information. So this is something which is going to anyway form a solid base when we are building such application. Safety and compliance for customer facing applications. We have in healthcare, we have HIPAA compliance. In fintech, we have like PCI DSS compliance. All those standards, protocols, compliance requirements, that has to be also taken into account. Observability goes without saying. Logging the prompts, okay, not the prompts, but logging the user interaction, whatever happened. All of that is so important. Structured outputs. JSON and XML, like the handoffs between the AI components, whatever is going to happen, that has to happen inside the system. So, and we know our favorite is JSON. So we have to also keep that in mind and write the code accordingly. Reasoning and explainability. Again, this goes without saying that if we have to trust AI to do the work. We have to show ask AI to show what is their thought process, what are the sources they have used, so how they have reasoned to come up with certain decision. So the fundamentals that you're seeing is actually going to form how do I say, like the building blocks behind every application that you are going to build, or maybe you are going to add an enhancement of for the existing application. So these are going to be your North Star. And the elements that you see on the left hand side, these are the new things that you are anyway going to incorporate in the application. So we have retrieval augmented generation, because RAG we are using, for example, is company specific proprietary information. So we will set up a knowledge base of that, and we'll want our AI systems to make use of that particular knowledge base. Similarly, now when it comes to tool calling and when we want the real-time data to be shown, Simple example is using weather APIs. So we are integrating tool with that. So that is how function or tool calling is being used. Agents are not chatbots. Agents are autonomous systems which can reason and act and take the decision. So that is how agentic system is now coming into picture. Again, I'm not going to repeat these things I have talked about in the video and in the blog. I would want you to go through that. This video is not about what exactly you have to do. This is anyway giving a big picture. So from RAG to agentic systems, you on the left hand side, you have your toolkit, what you have to do, and the right hand side, the North Star, your guiding point. Um, so this is something which you have to keep in mind. And now we will talk about some real world scenarios where practical enterprise ready applications can come up or maybe are already coming up. So let's discuss on that. Okay, so now let us talk about the real world scenarios. Put a, I've got a reference of a real world scenario of what kind of intelligent workflows you may have to design. So this is example of, let's say, a manufacturing industry where you have to align the assembly line schedule with real-time component availability and shifting order priority. So here's the scenario they have given that they want to automate the vehicle production workflows, and the production manager wants to optimize on the schedule based on the availability. So AI will have to collaborate with the production manager by retrieving real-time inventory data, identifying the supply constraint, and also surface the scheduling option. So if any of these had to be done manually, which anyway have been happening manually, it means it has to pull data from multiple sources. So it is mentioned that answering this question would mean to pull data from ERP systems, supply chain feeds, vector dashboards, etc. So it's very complex. But if AI is coming as the co-pilot, then it can gather all of these data, pulling in data from various sources, and together they can plan faster, adapt more confidently, and respond to change in real time. So for Java developers, this is an opportunity to build intelligent systems that bring together data from several sources under one hood. And these systems do not rely on AI alone. They depend on strong data integration and reliable workflows, all of which can be designed, secured, and scaled within the Java ecosystem. You remember the North Star. So those elements, I mean, those fundamentals can still be enforced. It's just that AI has now become a part of a co-working loop where human is also in the loop, AI is also in the loop, both of them are working together. And Java developers are the ones who make that loop real. Isn't it so beautiful? So this should give you a good picture of what sort of real world scenarios can happen. This is another example of shipping industry, FedEx, where due to whether there will be cascading delays, manager is under pressure, how to reroute the packages efficiently by minimizing the disruptions. So the logistic manager wants to manage the impact of delayed packages. Weather is a concern. So how can AI collaborate? Can analyze the live weather, traffic, delivery data, and then take informed decisions. Same thing. So AI acts as a true co-pilot at this moment, working alongside the manager to collect relevant signals, flag the risk zones, and then the rerouting recommendations. So for Java teams, this is a practical opportunity to build intelligent systems. So by integrating AI into logistics, supply chain, and delivery options, not by rebuilding everything, but by integrating the right data streams, APIs, and business logic. Data orchestration, like we said. It's not about the algorithms anymore. It's about piecing things together, wiring things together. And Java developers are key to enabling this AI powered assistant by securing connections across systems and Building secure, scalable, faster, adaptable systems over time so that humans and AI can collaborate together effectively under pressure. So these scenarios just scratch the surface. Developers across industries are anyway trying to find real problems, finding solutions to real problems and meaningful problems, and to reduce the complexity over time and improve how the systems perform. With that, let me also show you the frameworks comparison. Like we have majorly the preferred one is Spring AI we are using as a preferred framework when we are building this application, and we have LangChain 4G as well. I have myself used only Spring AI as of now, so I will not be able to comment on the other one. So Spring AI is the way to go. One more thing is top challenges which Java developers face. I think this is important for everyone to know that now, as of now, I think getting started is very important. To remember that 2 minute thing in which you can become an AI application developer by using the API key and having your Spring Starter project and just do a simple Hello World integration. So that is the lack of clear starting point. So now I think you would have got a good starting point. Next is the integration complexity. I talked about the integration pattern. So this should also be now sorted. Too many options. Stick to Spring AI, I would say. I mean, if you're a Spring Boot developer, start with Spring AI. Very easy. Secure private model integration. Again, this is going to bring in the security into picture. And yeah, I mean, framework and community support. So basically, it is important for you to understand what are the challenges developers are facing. And if you're able to find solutions to those, please share it with the community. And it's important for all of us to learn things from each other, exchange more and more information with each other. So on that note, I think I would like to maybe wrap this up by showing this diagram, this architecture again, and so that it is there in your brain uh, till like whatever we have discussed, that it is clear for you where you have to focus on, pinpointed. This is the place where you have to focus on the service layer. So with that, I think thank you so much for watching today's video, and I really enjoyed doing this discussion, and I hope things are a bit clearer now, and you have a better vision about what is lying ahead, what is the future of Java developers going forward, and get your hands dirty by starting to code using Spring AI. A lot of things I am also trying out. So I'll try to keep on posting more videos, and do let me know in the comments what sort of videos you guys would want to see on the channel. So again, thank you so much for watching. It was I also enjoyed a lot, and thank you so much for watching, and do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, to learn more about updates around Spring AI, Spring AI, Java, system design, Spring Boot. So thank you so much for watching. Do leave comments about how did you find the video, and see you again in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.